Hey everybody, it's Nitro from Nitromaniac TV's wrestling channel, reporting to you live from Times Square in New York City. And this is my take on the Saturday, April 6th card at MSG, the G1 Supercard of Honor. That's right, Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling invaded Madison Square Garden for a historic event. It was my first time ever in the Garden for a wrestling event. And so just open to talk about that, what an awesome place to watch wrestling. I can tell why it's such a legendary venue. It's so open. It's so it's open, but it's intimate too, and it feels like you're really up close to the action. I don't think there's a bad seat in that entire building. And I bought my seat for the Honor Club the Honor Club pre-sale, I should say, because I'm stammering on my words there. It was a really good building, really good venue to watch the show, and it was fantastic. All the entrance videos were awesome at the one end of the arena, and they really were top-notch for this. I was taking my seats for the opening 6 women tag, so I didn't see that one, unfortunately. It had just wrapped up as I was taking my seat, so I can't honestly comment on that one. I'm sure it was good. The Honor Rumble was the first match that I seen all night, and man, what a star-studded affair that was. Kenny King, who was the second person in the first person in the ring, I should say, had to square off of Minoru freaking Suzuki to open things up. And then, man, it was just a incredible Rumble, but surprises in there, and where people got their numbers drawn and everything. Jushin Liger got a huge pop, and then the Great Muta got the greatest pop of all once everybody seen it, and just people beside me were just freaking out, and they were just surprised and everything. Everybody from the wrestling world has been here this week, which is insane, at least on one night or another. It's been just surprise after surprise after surprise. It's probably one of the best booked weekends I think I've ever seen from top to bottom. But it was a really good Rumble. The young guys that were in the match worked well with the veterans and that stuff, and Kenny King working his way up the ladder, Liger and Muta now giving him the rub. A winner-takes-all match for the Never Openweight title and the ROH World Television title opened up the pay-per-view, as we had Jeff Cobb, the ROH TV champion, taking on Will Ospreay, the Never Openweight champion, with Cobb getting the win and walking out with both titles. So Jeff Cobb is now still your ROH TV champion and the Never Openweight champion, and this was an incredible contest in itself. Cobb, we've mentioned it before, his moveset is very Samoa Joe from like the mid-2000s. And Will Ospreay is Will Ospreay, so I look forward to seeing these two go head-to-head once again. In a surprising squash match, we had Roosh defeat Dalton Castle in about 15 seconds or so. And right afterwards, Dalton turning heel and dumping the boys and going on his own. So we have a heel Dalton Castle. Very interesting. The singles match for the Women of Honor World Championship, Mayu Iwatani's run over Kelly Klein has come to an end. Kelly Klein defeated Iwatani for the Women of Honor Championship. Great match, great back and forth encounter. I kind of felt that Kelly would beat Iwatani going into this match, I think. I think I might have made that prediction. I'm not sure. I have to go back and rewatch the predictions video. But it was a very classic encounter for two women's wrestlers. The big surprise was at the end was the formation of the Allure of Mandy Leone teaming with the former Beautiful People from TNA of Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. And this was, it's a heel stable that looks to take over the Women of Honor Championship and the division. So more with that upcoming, obviously. What was supposed to be a one-on-one open challenge between Bully Ray and Juice Robinson ended up becoming a 6-man tag, because Flip Gordon came out to answer the challenge, as Juice Robinson had been attacked by I believe Silas Young in the back prior to the match starting. So out comes Flip Gordon. Of course, Gordon returning from his injury layoff. Big pop. They get the match started, and then all of a sudden, Shane Taylor and Silas Young jump the ring, join up with Bully Ray, and it's a 3-on-1 assault. Out comes Lifeblood. Juice Robinson and Mark Haskins, the former Progress champ, and we have a 6-man tag happening. And this is just a insane 6-man tag team New York City street fight, hardcore rules, everything you love about that type of stuff and that type of wrestling. A fantastic match. 15 minutes of fun, 15 minutes of great stuff. Flip Gordon and Lifeblood get the win. Go check this match out. It's an awesome progression from 0 to 100, and it was awesome to see it live. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, Dragon Lee defeated Taji Ishimori and Bandito, and this was very interestingly placed on the card, I would say, just due to the fact that you had such a high off of that New York City street fight, and you go right to this, which is more boom, 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 but you had free Ring of Honor matches to open up the card. You have to throw in a IWGP New Japan match, so that's the shared billing, right? That's how you do it. Very fun match, very quick pace. Dragon Lee is deserving of that Junior Heavyweight Championship for sure. Does this open up a Hiromu return if Hiromu is not physically, not financially, but physically ready to return? If he is physically ready to return, I see no fault in Dragon Lee versus Hiromu again for that. But Taji, I thought that he'd have a longer run with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, but he'll be in the mix for a while, for sure. The winner-takes-all 4-way tag team match for both the IWGP Tag Team and ROH World Tag Team Championships occurred on this card as well, where you had the Guerrillas of Destiny, and they defeated the other 3 teams. So Villain Enterprises lost their belts, PCO and Brody King, Evil and Sonata from LIJ, and the Briscoe brothers. The talk of the match, though, is what happened after the match. While there was an angle going on, there was almost 2 simultaneous angles happening at the same time, where you had the angle of Toru Yano coming out and stealing the IWGP titles from Tonga and Tangaloa, and just running up the ramp with them, and that's when he's got him and kind of just mocking them, and the Bullet Club kind of shaking their fingers saying, we'll get you, we'll get you. While that's happening, Enzo and Cass, you remember those guys, right? We've talked about them a while. They showed up and picked a fight with the Briscoes. So everybody thought there was something in the water with NYC, or in NYC that night and that stuff. I've led to believe now, just by seeing what I'm hearing and that stuff, that Enzo and Cass have signed with Ring of Honor, and that they are looking at jumping into a feud with the Briscoes. It seems this far into this week now that it was a acquisition to bring them in to work some Ring of Honor shows, maybe to add to upcoming pay-per-views and that stuff. That will be a very interesting style to see, but if they keep those matches as street fights, I think they'll be alright. The Revolution Pro British Heavyweight Championship was on the line next, as Zack Sabre Jr., the champion, defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi in a dark match of the night contender, I would put it. Kind of a dark horse match of the night contender. This thing was fairly standard. Tanahashi and Zack Sabre Jr. was out there doing his thing too, so it was both these guys, getting to see them, witness them live, was a lot of fun for sure. Crowd reacted awesomely too. The crowd never wore out at all during this card. The crowd was red hot from the beginning right through the end of the card. It makes something, or it says something about the 4-hour pay-per-view time, that if it's booked correctly, you can have a 4-hour pay-per-view and people will pace themselves and be okay with it. So IWGP Intercontinental Championship, and my pick for the second best match of the entire weekend so far is Kota Ibushi defeating Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. I'll do up a video a little bit later on of my top 5 favorite matches that I've witnessed during WrestleMania weekend this year when I get back to the home base in Edmonton. But this was, it's in my top 5. It's probably my second favorite right now. This was such a back and forth encounter, like we would expect between these two. Very reminiscent of the old school Ring of Honor mid-2000s, almost junior heavyweight style that they were working a lot. Not so much strong style, but just more American indie a little bit. Very fast, very quick paced. The length of the match is, as I look behind the camera here just to look at my notes, it's only 20 minutes, but it felt a little bit more quicker than that. It felt like about a 10 or 15 minute affair. And a lot of people behind Naito, a lot of people behind Ibushi. So great match. Ibushi gets the Intercontinental Championship. I expect him to hold on to the IC strap until probably Wrestle Kingdom. I think they're going to give him a nice long run with it. A 30-minute freeway ladder match for the ROH World Championship was next, as Matt Taven finally becomes the undisputed ROH World Champion, defeating Jay Lethal and Marty Scurll. Or essentially, this is what would happen if Shawn beat Razor in the '94 ladder match for the IC title. Is the guy claiming the fake championship actually walks out with the championship. So that's kind of cool, reverse booking off of that. Very awesome match. Unfortunately, it doesn't really crack my top 5 for my favorite matches of the weekend, but it was your typical hardcore car wreck. It was so many emotional swings in that thing too, which makes it very enjoyable. The section of MSG that I was sitting in was very pro Taven, so there was a lot of people that enjoyed Taven that were right beside me, and everything. So I heard a lot, cheering against Taven in that match, which is good. That's good to hear. So Kazuchika Okada defeating Jay White to become the IWGP Heavyweight Champion again. This one was in 32 minutes and 33 seconds in a 1 hour time limit affair that will go down as an MSG classic and something that they can frame from 2019 to put up on their wall, as they have all throughout the concourse memorable moments in MSG history of stuff that's happened in there. This match was, this match rules. It was just an awesome encounter for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship with two people that know how to get it done, as these guys do, and they really do. And Jay White is elevated now to a legit main event player, in my opinion. He was hated as a heel walking in. The involvement of Gato throughout really helped, just from front to back. A very, very solid match, for sure. So my entire experience at the G1 Supercard, I haven't watched the pay-per-view back yet. I might do it later this week, we'll see. But I'm going to give it a very solid 9.8 out of 10, which is the highest rating I've ever given anything on this channel. But just being there live and having a chance to watch all this amazing action live really added to me. New Japan is still red hot. It doesn't matter if the Elite is there or not. They sold the card on a strength with the Elite, but the card itself delivered with the strength of the New Japan and Ring of Honor guys. So tip of the cap to those individuals involved on this card, as this one will probably go down, well, until Double or Nothing happens, as the non-WWE card of the year. We'll have to wait and see exactly what transpires coming out of Double or Nothing, where AEW stands and everything. But this is a pretty good effort, pretty decent effort. Like I said, a 9.8 out of 10 for New Japan and Ring of Honor on this card. All right, folks. I'm Kellen Nitro. Later days, happy wrestling watching. Still working on more content, still trying to get stuff up, and I gotta start packing to head home too. So a little bit of everything today. But we'll see you later. Later days, happy wrestling watching.